Hello and welcome to another episode of Marriott MBA Today. I'm your host Jacob Hicks and I'm here with Associate Dean Steve Glover. Welcome, Dr. Glover.
Hey, good to be here, Jacob.
Yeah. And especially a treat for us in the MBA program to get to hear from Dr. Glover. On July 1st, less than 5 months ago, he was appointed as an Associate Dean under Dean Lee Perry's leadership for the Marriott School. And our chance today to hear from Dr. Glover about his roles and whether he's missing the classroom. Are you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most of us who went back to school for a PhD to become professors did so primarily to be in the classroom. And I've always loved it, and I've had a chance to think back. Even the last few years, I found myself enjoying it more and more. So it is hard. I don't have any classroom responsibilities now as an associate dean. And what I can say, though, is I've benefited for the last 19 years from others serving in the dean's office, so I'm happy to do my part.
And most recently, before that, you were the director of the School of Accountancy.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And so in accounting, growing up in the accounting school and the last 20 years, and now in an administrative role, well, continuing that from department chair or director. So speaking of giving back and those you've benefited from the past and now you're serving, what are your roles and responsibilities as an associate dean?
Well, first and foremost, I've learned I do whatever the dean needs to try to lift his burden. And then not surprisingly, because I'm the accountant, I have the budget. Okay. And then the 4 centers in the Marriott School are my formal responsibilities.
Interesting, pretty varied. So speaking of those centers or resources like that you would have great familiarity and oversight for, any resources you think me and all my MBA classmates should be familiar with during this critical 2-year incubator period for us?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think the faculty and a lot of students can benefit from the centers. There are 4 centers, and I'm going to look at some of my notes because the center director sent me some notes, but there's the White Business Career Center, and that's the one maybe the students are most familiar with because there's obvious connection in terms of placement. So we really encourage you to get with those professionals and work through that. The Ballard Center for Economic Self-Reliance, the Rollins Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology, and the Whitmore Center for Global Management Center. And let me just share a few things on some of those. So the Global Management Center has study abroads 2 a year. There's always one to Asia and then either to Europe or South America. And for MBA students, first-year MBA students, there's the Eccles Scholarship. So 10 students are awarded those scholarships each year to help with that international experience and tuition. And many may be familiar with the Cardin International Sponsorship Program for non-U.S. citizens to come to BYU, get an MBA, and then return to their country. And I know a number of MBA students recently helped with the business language competition. They actually served as judges, so that was neat, and we appreciate that. The Ballard Center, if you're a social entrepreneur or innovator, this is a great place. Or if you want to learn more about it, their statement or the way they'd want to brand is to say, learn to do good better. Whatever you do, if you're going to go out and be a marketing professional, a finance professional, how can you do good better? So there's a social innovation club for master's students. There's an MBA social innovation minor. Take summer, all those classes. There are cases, competitions. If you've got an idea, get down there to the academy, see how you can make it a reality. There have been some really neat business ventures that have come out just thinking about how to do good better.
And speaking of that Ballard Center, for you MBA students who haven't met her, Megan Murph is kind of our go-to classmate. She leads the Ballard Center initiatives, at least within the MBA program. So reach out to Megan. She can help connect you and introduce you to folks in that center.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And then the Rollins Center, there is a lot going on. There are a lot of competitions. So a lot of the MBA students have or are starting businesses or have a business. And that's a great resource. There are competitions that provide prize money to the winners. The Miller New Venture Challenge, International Business Plan competition. There's a marketing competition, mobile app competition, Student Entrepreneur of the Year, Student Innovator of the Year, Utah 25. They recognize the top student-based companies. So there's mentoring, there's coaching. There's just a lot going on in the centers. And you just have to get down there. It's exciting.
Great resources and all free for us as students to take advantage of.
Right.
I'm actually one of the students on that Miller New Venture Challenge leadership team, and I'm amazed at all the ideas across campus that are coming in, and the Marriott School is no stranger to entrepreneurship.
It's a neat thing to be able to get outside the business school and interact with the engineers and others in technology and in the fine arts to just collaborate on business ideas. So it's a great opportunity.
Well, Dr. Glover, we know the students in the classroom are missing out right now while you're serving, but we appreciate the overarching influence you're having on the mission of the Marriott School and, of course, the university as a whole. Speaking of your experience and these latest opportunities, what advice do you have for us as MBA students?
Well, I know it's a busy, busy time, but I'd encourage you to take advantage of the Marriott School and the broader BYU campus. Even as busy as it feels now, life tells us it'll get even busier when you're out. And you'll look back with fondness at your time here on campus, and you won't regret taking advantage of the broader experience here, whether it's the centers or just all that BYU has to offer. So sometimes take a break from study and identify other things on campus, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Great advice for us to continue to elevate success, right? That's this year's theme in the MBA program, and we all need to sharpen the saw outside the classroom. And
that's right.
BYU's got plenty of resources, especially the Marriott School.
That's right.
Well, Dr. Glover, we welcome you officially from the MBA program to the Dean's office, and we're excited to be students under your direction.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Marriott MBA Today.